This conference will now be recorded.
This video, I am discussing about configuring and securing SSH. So we are using SSH to log into a remote server. So we are having a server in our organization, or maybe we are having a server in the cloud. We can log into the server remotely by using SSH. So SSH allowed to communicate in a encrypted and secure fashion. Previously, we are using another protocol like a telnet protocol we are using to connect to the server, but telnet is not a secure protocol, so that is the reason we are using SSH. So I have a server, so in remote server I want to log into the server, so I can take this IP and I can log in. So in my Windows I am installing a software called Git Bash. So it is a SSH client, so we can download this software Git Bash, and we can connect to the Linux server. So I installed the Git Bash and I started Git Bash. So I can give the command SSH and the username and the IP address of the server. So we can remotely log into the server like this. So it will be asking for the password, and then we can log into the server. So we can see that we are able to log into the server now. Now sometimes this user based logon is not allowed. Sometimes maybe we are allowed to log in using key based authentication only, sometimes will be allowed. So we have to know that in SSH we have a configuration. So the configuration file for SSH is this one, etc ssh sshd.config. So we have a service working here. The service name is service sshd status. So we can check the status by using service sshd status. Also we can check by system ctl status sshd. We can check the status of the service using this. So sometimes we have to check the configuration file etc ssh sshd.config. So if I open this file, we can see some in this section we have to generally edit. We have option called authentication option. So we have option called permit root login, yes or no. So sometimes we cannot directly log in as root user, so we have to give it as yes, so then root user can log in directly. So sometimes password authentication is not enabled, so we have to change this option. Password authentication sometimes will be given no, so then we cannot log in with the password. So these options sometimes we have to change. Now we can log in. I am in the first server, so I can log into the second server from here. So SSH, and I want to log in as to the second server. So I have a second Linux machine. From the first Linux machine, I can log into the second Linux machine using SSH. So I am going to do a SSH command from the first machine to second machine. So we can see my current prompt is Linux 1. I am inside my Linux system 1. So I'm going to log into the second system. So I can give yes, and I have to give 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it is asking some options. So I'm able to log into this one, log into the Linux system 2 now. So now when I do exit means I can come out from the second machine. So I am in the first machine now, and we can see that when I go to the home directory, so there is a .ssh folder is there. So we can go to .ssh, and we can see that we have a non host file. We can give non host file. So I'm opening this file. So now I connected to the Linux 2. The Linux 2 information is added in this file. Non-host file will be having the, so from the first system I am connecting to the second system. Second system's public key will be stored here. So now we want to see, I am in the Linux system 1 now. I want to log into the Linux system 2, but I want to use a key-based authentication. So how can we do key-based authentication? So what we have to do is I have to create a key pair. So I can give SSH keygen. So I am using a command to create the key pair. SSH keygen command I am using, and everything I am giving enter I am giving. So we can see that a key pair is created in this directory. So we can see I am in this directory now. So in this directory, we can see that there are two keys are created. This is the public key, and this is the public key, and this is the private key. So if we want to log in from this system to another system, what we have to do, this is public key we have to open, vi id underscore rsa and .pub. So I am opening this public key. So I created a key pair. When I do SSH keygen, I created two keys. Private key is created, public key is also created. So I am opening the public key and I am copying this public key, and I can copy in the current right now. I am copying into Notepad. So this key is copying here. So now what we have to do is we have to paste this key in the second server. So second server, I have to log in. So I'm going to log into the second server again. So I'm going to log into the second server. So in the second server, I have to go to the .ssh folder. So in the folder, I have we can see the ls, we can see there is two files. Authorized key file is there. So I have to copy the authorized keys file, and in this I have to include this. I have to add this key. What I have to do, I can add the information in the last line. I have to paste it. So this public key I pasted here. In the second server authorized keys file, I pasted this. So I saved it. So now I come out now from here, from coming out from the second system. So I am in the first system now. So now what I will do, I will be able to log into the second system without password. So I am going to log in again, SSH root at this IP I am giving. We can see that I am directly able to log in without the keys. So that is the way we are doing key based authentication we are doing. So what are the steps I done is I created the key pair using SSH keygen, and I got the public key. So public key I am directly pasting in the second server. So I have in the authorized key file. I will go to the second system in the authorized key file. So I am going to SSH directory, and we can see the authorized keys file is there. So vi authorized key file. So now I will delete it and do it one more time. So this key I added here, public key I added here. So I'm going to delete this. Now I cannot, if I log in, it will ask for the password. So I will be exiting now. So from the first system. So if I try to log in again, so they will prompt for the password, because so they will ask for the password. So what we have to do, I have this public key I am having. So the public key I want to copy into the second server in the authorized keys file. So I can copy this by using a simple command. So I can give a command like this. So I am giving a command. So like SSH copy ID. This is a single command. So what it will do is, so it will do this copy ID command. So and what it will do, so you have to give this key name SSH copy ID command, and you have to give this root at second server. So I'm giving this command root at second server IP. So we have to specify the public key also. We have to specify him here. So I'm giving -i id .rsa. So the public key also I'm specifying. So what it is going to do is it is going to automatically copy the key to the remote system. So I am going to give this command. So it will ask for the password. So now what will happen, this key automatically will be pasted in the second server. So now I am in the first server. So I'll try to log in to this server, second server now. We can see that. So it is not asking for the password. So in the second server, we can see that in the authorized key file, so the key will be automatically this entry is already automatically added. We can do this from the this SSH copy ID command we can use. So sometimes this is the way we are doing. The key name is id.rsl. So now sometimes we want to log in with the Putty software. So we can log in with the Putty software. So I installed the Putty client. So I'm just trying to log in Putty software I'm opening, and I am going to give the IP address. So we have to give the key from here connection. If we can directly log in with the username and password. So I can just give open. So I know the username password, I can log in. So I'm giving a root and password I can give. Sometimes we have to know I logged in with the username password, but now sometimes I want to log in with the key, means I can give putty and I am pasting the IP. So if you can directly give the key. So in the connection SSH auth, and we can provide the key here. So we can directly log in with the key based authentication we can do. So I'm just selecting my key and I can log in. So I have configured key based authentication for one user. So it is not asking the password, but we are using key based authentication. So sometimes in cloud we creating a Linux server. So we are not having the key with the correct format. So what we have to do is we have to do putty gen command, and we have to generate the key. So we have to use putty gen command to load the key first. And if I am creating a server in AWS, so I will get a key in the different format. So sometimes we are getting a key in the PK format. So the key will be, we can see that. So the key format will be different. So we can see this is the PEM format. So generally we will get the, sometimes we will get the PEM format key. The PEM format. That's a PEM key. We have to load it. So I have to load the PEM key, and first I loaded it, and then I have to see that I'm going to save the private key. So and I have to give the save. So what I am trying to do, PEM key, I am going to convert it to the new key format. So I am giving us key AZ111. But I am going to convert it as a PPK key. So now I have to save it in the download folder. I'm saving it key AZ111. So now I can log in using the putty command. Sometimes the key format we have to convert. So I am giving the IP address. So the key I am giving here, connection SSH and authentication, and I am going to specify the key. So the key is here, so I can log in. So we can sometimes in putty, if we are using, we have to convert the key format. So we can even generate the key pair, everything from Windows itself. We can create the SSH keygen command. We can give an SSH keygen command will work here also. So we can create the key pair. So this session we are discussing about configuring and securing SSH, how to log into the remote server, and how to generate the key, how to do the key-based authentication, and how to configure the SSH for SSH configuration, how we are doing. So thanks for watching.